It's kind of funny how people don't realize dream control is like a whole separate skill to lucid dreaming, right? So many people get into lucid dreaming. I think this is a reason why a lot of people quit lucid dreaming. Like, they'll get into it and be like, oh my god, I can do anything I want, lucid dreaming, right? And they spend like 10 lucid dreams trying to spawn someone, and then they fuck that person, and then they wake up after like 2 seconds, and then they come in our Discord talking about, oh, I wasn't able to fuck someone, I woke up after like 2 seconds, and like, they can't deal with this dream control shit because they didn't realize dream control is a whole separate skill, right? And that doesn't happen for everyone. Some people may automatically have like really good dream control and be able to control everything. I know people like that, but for a lot of people, that's not how it happens, and it's like a whole separate skill. I don't want to implant you with negative expectations though, so this info is kind of for people, or it's kind of for you if you've had like lucid dreams before, right? But you couldn't do as much as you wanted, or you're kind of scared about not doing what you want in a lucid dream because you kind of had limitations or whatever. And I'm just gonna tell you how to dream control. I'm not gonna fucking yap a bunch of shit, okay? I won't do that because there's so many dream control tutorials and articles, and they're all just saying like, use your expectations. It's all about expectations, right? Just believe you can fly and believe you can do all this shit, and you'll be able to do it, which I guess to some degree is true. But like, if I just make another tutorial like that and tell you, bro, just believe you can fly and believe you can like fuck everyone without waking up, like, what does that do? Like, that's not really gonna change shit unless you're really good like deluding yourself or something like that. So I will just get to the point. The best technique to improve your dream control if you have trouble is image rescripting. Now, this isn't really talked about much because it's mainly used in therapy to help like PTSD and nightmares and phobias. Is used in like all kinds of shit. I don't know if you've heard about that. All it is, and all you need to do to use this for dream control is if you wake up from like a lucid dream and you kind of had issue, right, bro? You had issue, you couldn't do something you wanted. Just focus, sit down and focus, get rid of your fucking phone, turn it off, and go back into the memory of that lucid dream. Think about that lucid dream that you had where you had trouble flying, or you fucking like woke up after trying to fuck someone or some shit. Think about that and intervene in the memory. Now you need to change the memory to kind of be how you want it to be. And imagine you could do that thing you wanted to do. Now, this may take time. Like, you should do this every day if you're really having dream control issues, right? But what's like 10 minutes of imagery scripting every day? What's that when you have a lifetime of full godly lucid dream control in a lucid dream, right? Because I will give you an example of this working. Because you know me, I'm like the lucid dream god. Everyone thinks I'm so good at lucid dreaming, right? If I do say so myself. But I will say, a while ago, I did have this like long stretch of time where I really struggled with dream control. I don't know if I've told you this before, but like, I couldn't spawn the door to my portal room. I don't know if you know about this, but I have a whole portal room in my lucid dreams, bro. It's cool as fuck. You need to do that. But anyways, there's a door I spawn in my lucid dreams to get to this room, and I couldn't spawn it. Every time I try to do it, it just wouldn't appear, right? And this happened over like fucking 5 lucid dreams. That shit was pissing me off. That shit was PMO, bro. And so I was like, nah, I need to fix this. And so I spent just a couple nights before I slept thinking of when I couldn't spawn the portal room and just going back into that memory of the dream. And then I did some imagery scripting. So I imagined actually that I did, and I was able to like spawn the door, and I didn't have any troubles with it. And so really after like a couple nights of doing this, I went in my lucid dream and was able to spawn the fucking door. And I went to my portal room, bro, and it was so fun. And like, yeah, that shit just works. And this thing also applies to real life as well. And the reason this works is because it's literally creating new neural pathways in your brain. That's what imagery scripting does. And these new neural pathways kind of facilitate changes in your mental schemas. And schemas are really basically, that's like how dream control works. They're based off your schemas, which are like kind of links in with your expectations. And that's how dreams are formed, off your schemas. And schemas are basically your beliefs about the world. So when I say a bird, what do you think of? You think of feathers, you think of wings. Feathers and wings are connected to your bird schema. So a lot of people are kind of implanted with negative schemas about lucid dreams because they may be told, you can't have sex without waking up, or like, you need to spin around to make your dream stable. Like, what the fuck does that even mean, bro? Spin around to make your dream, what the fuck? Like, every time I spin around in my dream, I just wake up. Like, I don't know who came up with that shit. But like, anyways, or like, don't look in mirrors. I'm stuttering, but like, don't look in mirrors because you'll see a really scary thing. And then those are like all negative schemas in your dreams. And then kind of this imagery scripting thing will change these negative schemas. And even if you didn't have any negative schemas, still it will kind of fix your beliefs so you can do what you want, because the same shit applies to real life. You can't act out of alignment with your beliefs, which is why imagery scripting is used in things with like phobias, and maybe you're scared of like social situations in real life because you think everyone will stare at you. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of yapping, but you think everyone will stare at you and think that you're weird and like judge you. Or it may be true, who fucking knows? But like a lot of the times it's not, right? And it's just your mind creating that. So yeah, you can go and force yourself to talk to people if you're having these social issues or whatever, but it may be better to do imagery scripting and think about how people are not judging you and everyone likes your personality and you're so charming and whatever, and everyone loves you. And then over time, this will change your schemas to do with social situations, and then you will start acting in alignment with the new beliefs that the imagery scripting fucking created, right? And then you will be able to go talk to people without like being judged and whatever. Fucking hell, I should do some imagery scripting to fix my fucking stuttering talking at you right now, bro, because that's crazy. But no, so basically, long story short, holy shit, just do imagery scripting if you have dream control issues. There are so many tutorials on dream control. They all just come down to imagery scripting, really, or just saying, oh, just change your expectations, change your beliefs. That's not helpful. If you want to do that, do imagery scripting. And this isn't really talked about that much, as I said, because it's mainly used in like therapy or something. Now, I have something else to talk about, actually, that, you know, I did say I wouldn't yap, but fuck it. I want to talk about an interesting post I found on Dreamviews, and I actually found this when I was much younger. It's written by someone called The Cusp, and this post on Dreamviews, lucid dreaming forum, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this post was called The Nature of Dream Control, and I think you don't need to know about this. You can basically just leave and stop listening to me now. But I think this is interesting because The Cusp was a really interesting lucid dreamer who was into like all this esoteric shit and magic and stuff like that. And this Nature of Dream Control article they wrote focused on kind of two laws or rules they came up with. The first law, or the first rule, not the first law. The first law is a really good like fantasy series. Sorry, I just wanted to yell about that. So I said the first law. It's the first rule, okay? It's not the law. I'm gonna stop going off topic. Fuck me. The first rule to the Nature of Dream Control is that everything in your dreams needs your attention to exist. This is what The Cusp says, and it's true. You can also use this to help with dream control. Like I've said, if you're dealing with a scary monster or something in your dream, just turn your back away from it and it will literally cease to exist if you ignore it. Because if I'm in a lucid dream right now, the only thing that exists is my room. Nothing is outside of my room, right? Because I'm not paying attention to it. The second law or rule that The Cusp said is that the more attention you pay something in a dream, the more detail will be created in relation to what you're focusing on. Basically, that's the reason why if you have bad dreams about your teeth falling out or your hair falling out or like a bad wound you have, if you keep focusing on that, more and more detail will be created and it'll become worse and worse. So the first law is that everything in a dream needs your attention to exist, and I'll get to the interesting part in a minute, okay? This kind of sounds a little obvious, but it gets interesting. The second rule is that, yeah, the more attention you focus on something, the more detail will be created in relation to that. Now, so of course you can use that for dream control. That's really interesting. That's such a cool thing to know, right? But an interesting thing that Cusp started talking about is how he used this to dream control or control the real fucking world, bro. The real world. Now, hear me out, hear me out. This isn't really talked about much because the Cusp was into magic and esoteric shit. I went on his profile and he was talking about magic. Now, me, I don't really know about magic. I don't know if you like believe in that shit, but I find it interesting anyways. The Cusp talked about how he found that you can use dream control to control the real world. Now, he was saying he was shy about using this at first, using his kind of two rules. He was shy about using it because he didn't want to manipulate people. I hope this doesn't sound like some like schizo shit or something. But he was saying he started using it firstly for flirting with women, because he said he was really bad at flirting. I guess he had like social issues, but he was saying once he started using his dream control laws, flirting with women was easy, so easy that it was like playing a game where he created the rules. He didn't really go into much detail on it, but he said that controlling a girl's attention now was just so easy after he started learning these rules and how they work in the real world. Keep in mind, as I said, he was kind of into magic and like esoteric shit, so it makes sense he was trying this more, and it may just be like a psychological thing. Like I said, he could just be changing his beliefs and maybe he became more confident from that, but it's still interesting. He also talked about another example where he went into work and like one of his co-workers didn't show up or some shit, and he was thinking that he could switch what coworker or which coworker he worked with without asking his boss for that, but with just directing people's attention and putting like using a few words here and there to like change people's direction or something. It kind of was weird and getting confusing. It sounded like he was becoming some evil fucking mage or some shit. But long story short, the Cusp believed if you got really good at dream control in a lucid dream, you could also apply that to the real world. Some kind of law of attraction manifestation type shit. Is it some kind of psychological thing or some real magic? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's both. Who fucking knows, bro? But no, I just thought that was interesting. I'm gonna stop yapping now. I have not talked to you in so long. I apologize. I promise there will never be such a long wait again between like us having a nice conversation. But I don't know if you're still listening to me. Unsubscribe, leave me a mean comment. Do not join the Discord ever. Do not join that shit. Farewell. I love you. Goodbye.